time I've ever been to an event like this.
Sorry.
Whoa, it's a big fella.
我应该能拿展会的票进去。
People from all over the world are here for the 60th Mr. Olympia.
Ich glaube, die sind hier. Ich glaube, die waren hinter uns laufen. Yeah, you are from
Yes, from Hungary.
yeah, perfect. You can come with us. We have our tags. Die Frage, eigentlich für Expo. Ja, Expo von my girlfriend's here. Sebastian. Nice to meet you. Jesse.
With Alex Perez and Ricky Simone. Alex Perez is from Lemoore, which is close to Fresno. Okay.
And Rick, where are you from again?
Yeah, I'm over in Washington State, right on the border next to Portland, Oregon.
Hey, that's very cool. I have 3 great nieces and a great nephew that live up there.
Oh, nice.
And I love your state. It's beautiful.
Oh, it is beautiful.
The air is clean and it's cool. So, all right. So we are here at the 60th Mr. Olympia competition, and you guys are here for...
We're here with True Performance.
Yeah, True Performance. We're here. The supplements that we've been taking for the last, I think, about 8 years. About 8 years. So yeah, we're here with, supporting them and just make sure people know about the product.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'm underground in the Loop in Las Vegas, and they're going to take me zipping through an underground tunnel to Resorts World. Here's a nice young lady that helped me. And we're just waiting for my Tesla. Okay, I'm taking this cool little ride through this tunnel. Okay, this is underground in Las Vegas, and it's got these lights. Okay. This was a brilliant idea. They should do this in every big city. All right. Coming around, the lights change color. Sometimes they're green, they're pink, they're yellow, they're blue. And oh wow, here we're getting into like this weird cave. Like, this is like a ride at Disneyland. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, now we're going outside.
You're not getting that job at the UFC. It's already taken. It's great to see everybody here. I really appreciate people coming out for this once-a-year event. We really try to make this very special. We work all year in Fairfax, and the advisors work all year for this 1 hour, this one very special hour. And the reason that I started the International Sports Hall of Fame was to honor great legends, great athletes, great legends, but not only for the inspiration that they have given to the generations of kids who have watched them, but also what they've done post-career, their charitable works and giving back. That is as important as what they have done as athletes. So we try to look at it as a whole. We also try to mix the group. So we have a very diverse group of people, all legends in their particular sports, yet so unique and so different in their own way. Now, the International Sports Hall of Fame is a nonprofit, and I fund it personally because I feel we don't want any commercial outlet. We don't need Nike banners or Gatorade or any of that. This is all about you guys, not about nobody else, but just about you. We try to keep this as pure as we can so that you are honored in the purest fashion for all the great things that you have done in your life. And you're also enshrined in the University of Texas, Austin at the Stark Center, which is the largest physical culture museum in the world, and all the posters and medals and artifacts from these events is enshrined for history. So it's not just a one-time event, it actually goes into a museum in perpetuity. And he became one of the hottest directors and stunt guys in Hollywood. He then went into the military as a teenager in 1980. He earned his 4th Dan black belt in Taekwondo in 1993. Then he began his acting career and his martial arts career. He's been in movies such as Mortal Kombat, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Scorpion King, 24, Beowulf, The Town, all these action movies that he's been in. He also shared the Male Stuntman of the Year Award at the 2004 World Stunt Awards for his work. In 2012, he was a Stunt Coordinator of the Year at the Action Fest Action Movie Festival. He's also been awarded an Icon Award and the Legendary Stunt Award for his work. And now he's moved from a stuntman to a director, but this guy has been the stunt guy for every major franchise you can imagine. This is a man who put together the stunts for the Expendables, all the John Wicks. I got to see in his 8711 gym. He showed me the stunts from John Wick 3 years before the first John Wick, and I could not believe the stunts that I was seeing. Unbelievable. So this guy comes up just not with stunts, amazingly new stunts, all the Fast and Furious. JJ. He's worked with all the A-listers, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Keanu Reeves, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. In fact, The Rock says that he's the man. He's the one I work with all movies. Jason Statham, Jet Li, you name it, this guy has worked with them. But his rule is, if for his stunt workers, the rule is, if you're afraid to die today, don't come into work. He's also the co-founder of the 8711 Gym, which is where he demonstrated the John Wick stunts, and he directed Day Shift, which was a big hit on Netflix. And just a few weeks ago, I was at his movie premiere for Killer's Game that was in theaters all around the world. Let's give it up for J.J. Perry. Shaw became the first man to win the Arnold Classic Strongman competition, as well as the World Strongman competitions in the same calendar year, a feat he replicated in 2015. With 27 international competition wins, he is the 4th most decorated strongman in history. He has also set more than 25 world records in deadlifting, stone lifting, keg tossing, grip-related movements, and more. At a tiny 6'8", 454 pounds, he is truly one of the strongest men to ever live. Brian Shaw. He is a remarkable athlete. American professional mixed martial artist. She currently competes in the women's bantam division of the UFC, of which she is a former women's UFC world champion. She was formerly the Strikeforce world champion at bantamweight, and she also captured the 135-pound championship of bantamweight in the freestyle cage fighting as well. She defeated Holly Holm via technical submission due to a rear neck choke in the 5th round to become the new UFC bantam champion. She is also won numerous other fights and won 3 Performance of the Night awards. A remarkable female athlete, tough as nails, bright, articulate. She's got the whole package. Let's give it up for Misha Tate.
Women there, we can do it on the men's team. And I said, well, that's a crazy idea. And I went home, I asked my mom, thank you, Mom, for not telling me no, because I know I wouldn't be standing here today if I didn't go out for wrestling that very next day. She said to me, well, I'm not going to tell you you can't. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. She's like, I'm not sure you're going to like it, but let me know how it turns out for you. So I went the next day, and to say that I got annihilated would be an understatement. I got my butt kicked, and it was very clear that the guys there, not bad guys, they just shared the sentiment of most people that women did not belong on the mat at that time. So they tried to get me to quit, but I took great pride in the fact that they could not make me quit. And I remember thinking, after that first day, even before that first day, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I stuck with it for 4 years. I'll be honest, I didn't win matches against males. I was too late in the game. They were too physically advanced, and I'm not a tiny girl. I was never going to be 103 pounds, maybe. No, that wasn't me. So I thought, what's the worst can happen? Well, I found out. I got, my butt kicked, and I stuck with it. And by the end of 4 years, I won the Coaches Award, and to date, this is one of my most proud accomplishments, because it was given out to a single athlete on the team that kind of embodies what you would want out of a wrestler and a team.
The Octagon, we had to have the sound for you guys. Again, he's an American professional mixed martial arts ring announcer and the official Octagon announcer for the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship. He's introduced these events all over the world, and he is also known as the veteran voice of the Octagon. His catchphrase is, "It's time," when he announces before the main event of the UFC card. Bruce holds a second-degree black belt in Tang Soo Do, so he not only watches it, he knows how to fight as well. He's also trained as a kickboxer. He began working in the UFC announcer in 1997 and is considered one of the most popular and recognizable figures in the sport. Bruce uses the catchphrases in his announcing and also has a signature move known as the Buffer 180, which he motions directly across the octagon before quickly spinning 180 degrees and pointing to the corner being introduced. Buffer also performs 45-degree and 90-degree turns before most Buffer 180s, but reserves the Buffer 180 for the main events and co-main events. He also happens to be a half-brother of boxing and professional ring announcer Michael Buffer, who was a past inductee, and they are the first two brothers to ever be inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame. Let's give it up for Bruce Buffer.
Correctly. So in 1996, I called them up and I had Michael do 3 of the events, UFC 6, 7, and Ultimate. But during our first time, we were in Casper, Wyoming, when he announced his first event. The owner, Robert Meyer, said to him, listen, when you get in the octagon, I want you to say, if it's not in the octagon, it's not real. Well, at that time, wrestling, all respect for wrestling, is a huge respect for wrestlers, but it's sports entertainment. They do get hurt. I have tremendous respect for these athletes. But at the time, back then, they wanted you to think more on the realistic side of what was going on. And I got a call on Monday from the WCW, and they said, what are you having him do this thing for? He goes, he's with us. I said, well, his contract allows him to do whatever. I have 3 events. He'll complete the 3 events. He couldn't continue anyway at the pace that the UFC went. And the WCW, he loves so much, and they're obviously paying astronomical amounts of money. It was an obvious answer to stay with WCW. So at that time, then I went to the UFC, and I said, okay, you need a buffer in the octagon. I have the media contacts. I believe this is going to be the biggest thing happening in sports. I want to be your octagon announcer and grow with you, but I will do everything I can that I have the ability to do in the media and my contacts and everything else to help you get this sport bigger and better. I'll help you brand it, because that's what I love to do. I recognize brands when they're going to be strong, and I thought the UFC was going to be the biggest thing ever. It kind of fell on deaf ears. About 6 months later, I had a fighter that I managed in Dubai, Puerto Rico in 1996, named Scott the Pitbull Ferrazzo. I did not want to be a fight manager. I put him in the event so I could go down there and convince them to let me announce the prelims, which they did. I announced 3 preliminary fights. I look at it now and I'm kind of like this when I watch it, but at the same time I asked them, I said, I want to be your announcer. Well, they didn't hire me. Another 6 months went by. They asked me to announce UFC 10 because the announcer they had couldn't announce it. I went in and announced the entire event. I said, let me have the job. They didn't hire me, they hired somebody else. Another 6 or more months go by and they called me up and they said, listen, do you want to co-star on the TV show Friends, which was the biggest thing happening at the time, and it was in its second series. I said, of course, I'd love to. So they said, well, Warner Brothers is going to send somebody down for audio and videotape, and they'll let you know if you have the job. They came down, they picked it up, they called me that night, they said, be on the set tomorrow morning at 6 in the morning, rehearse all day, film on Wednesday, you're going to co-star as yourself on Friends. All right, now I thought, here, this is my shot. I met with the owner on the set for lunch, and I said, listen, Robert, I feel like someone waiting to be asked to go to the prom, and nobody's asked me to go to the prom. I'm going to ask you one more time. I need to become the Octagon announcer. I will help you build the sport, build this brand. I'll do everything I can, but I want to grow with you as the announcer. I'm a big poker player. That was the best poker hand I ever played in my life. He said yes. And from that point on, I announced every event in the UFC until it became too many, and now I have an excellent backup announcer that does 6 or 7 shows a year, while I announce all the other ones. And it has grown. It's grown from spectacle to mainstream sport. I've been on this UFC rocket ship now for it'll be 29 years come February. And it's an amazing first-class seat that I love to have. And I want to thank everybody at the UFC, especially Dana White. When Dana White took over the UFC in 1999 with the Fertitta brothers, we were about to go out of business. I knew we would make it. And with his tenacity, his amazing guidance, and everything he does today, we are where we are. And it's just an amazing experience. And out of this, I've been able to appear for many other sports. I've opened up for the Raiders, basketball, hockey, baseball, beer pong, you name it. I've done so many different things, and I travel the world doing all these events. Tonight I'm going to make a very special appearance for the Olympia. I'll be at the F1 in a couple of weeks, and I love what I do. And I have so many people to thank for everything I do. But most of all, I want to thank my family and my loved ones. Because without the support factor of my family and my loved ones, I would not be where I am today. I have an amazing business partner and close friend named Kristen. Without her and everything we do in my business when I travel the world, without her running everything back at the home ship, we're just an amazing team that runs this entire business together, as I still also manage the career of my brother, Michael Buffer. But I'm also very lucky to have amazing parents. I've lost both my parents. I lost my beautiful mama last year right before Christmas. I would call her before and after every UFC, and I still do in my heart because I know she's my guardian angel looking down on me. And my brother Brian. Without their support, and Brian, whom I grew up with my entire life, they're my biggest fans. And their love and support and motivation have been a driving force for me my entire career. So I just want to make sure, if I've missed anybody, there's so many people to thank. I'm blessed to do what I do. Every night I walk out in the Octagon, I consider it my first day. I walk out to prove to myself, to prove to you, to prove to the fighters, to prove to the fans, Dana White, the powers that be, that I deserve this job. I wake up every morning with UFC on my chest, being very proud of the whole thing, and I plan on going on for many, many years to come. And it's very important to me. So with that being said, there's only one thing left to say. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time! Spanish Club, top of the world! Thank you very much.
Too many records in college, too many to mention, but his coach at the time said, this is the best college football player I've ever seen. Aside from the Heisman, he captured the Maxwell Award for the nation's best player and was named Player of the Year by United Press International, the Sporting News, and Sport Magazine. He became the second multiple recipient of the W.J. Voigt Trophy, and that's awarded each year to the most outstanding football player. He's a remarkable athlete, and next year, hopefully, he will be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame, which he definitely deserves. And he is one of the only Latino athletes to be named Super Bowl MVP. Let's give it up for Jim Plunkett, NFL superstar. Phil Heath, IFBB Pro League Professional Bodybuilders, known as The Gift. And you know, we had a movie come out about his journey in life, and it really is truly remarkable what Phil has been able to do, the things he has overcome, the challenges he's overcome, to be the best in the world. He entered bodybuilding in 2002. In 2005, he won the overall title at the NPC USA Championship. He is a 7-time Mr. Olympia winner, winning every year from 211 to 217, defending that title consecutively 6 more times. He's titled Arnold Schwarzenegger for 7-time Mr. Olympia wins. In terms of the International Sports Hall of Fame, he joined other inductees, Ronnie Coleman, Lee Haney, Corey Everson, and Linda Murray. So we've got some amazing people who, and Jay Cutler, Mr. Olympia, 7-time.
You know, when you go out for something that you never had before, you realize that you have to put yourself in a place that can sometimes be dark. But to get through it, you have to seek light. For me, growing up in Seattle, Washington, I was asked in high school, playing at Rainier Beach High School. We were top team in the state. I had a great teammate by the name of Jamal Crawford. He played 19 seasons in the NBA. He was NBA six man 3 times. I remember someone from the Seattle Times was like, "Oh, you're going to the University of Denver on a full ride scholarship. Any plans on going pro to the NBA?" Now, I'm a realist. I don't have Ryan Shaw's height. I'm very height challenged for the sport of basketball. And I said, I don't know if I'll be ever pro in basketball, but I'll be pro at something. And I felt like that was a godsend because, I went to the University of Denver, had high hopes to obviously doing, big and better things. I majored in business and also in IT. But the college career just didn't pan out. Coach Marty Fletcher, I actually have to thank him for not playing me much. It drove my disappointment through the roof. I was very depressed, but I hung in there, and I got to see the alchemy of what life really is, and that is to be able to see the opportunities that are in front of you, which is a great, solid education, and to meet some great teammates that you can create lifelong friendships.